Hey everyone, welcome to episode 44.
44.
My God, 44.
Yeah.
Pre-shoot live here at the Fin Factor. I am Paul.
And I'm Aaron.
And we are taking your comments, your concerns, your anything and everything you'd like. We have some comments. We also see something else that's awesome.
I like how we started off with 2 thumbs down before we even went live. I don't know how that's possible.
Gosh, why would someone thumbs down? We haven't even started
Anyway,
streaming
give
yet.
us a thumbs up if you're watching and you like us. And also tell us where you're listening from. We've got about 16 people on right now.
Childish.
Right. Tell us where you're listening from or watching from and how you found us. Did you find this link from Facebook, or is it because you're already connected and blah, blah, blah. So let us know in the comments. Okay, let's get started.
Not so loud.
Sorry.
Is he talking loud?
Yeah.
Oh.
Sorry, I'm usually not talking loud enough.
Yeah, I know.
So this is Niner Faithful. He
Okay.
said, sorry, I didn't realize my question got cut off last week. What I want to ask is, do we re-sign Carlson if he underperforms in the playoffs, and is he worth losing Pavelski over?
Yeah, I mean, and this has been the whole discussion, right? This has been the whole thing. It's like if you sign Erik Karlsson, you're going to have to lose somebody, and obviously that part of that somebody is Pavelski. I mean, when he re-signs, he's going to want decent money. It's his last payday, right?
And he's earned it.
Yeah,
this
absolutely.
season.
He absolutely has, and that's the thing. It's Karlsson is younger, so you're looking more towards the future if you're signing him. Pavelski's been your captain. He's been a guy that's been on your team, since day one, since drafting, and he's 35 years old now. So, you've been with them for a very long time. There's some sense of loyalty almost there, but it's a business too. So whatever's in the best interest of the organization, and of course that's what Doug Wilson's got in his mind right now. I mean, let's go back to the first episode that we ever had. We talking about getting John Tavares potentially. And it was reported that Wilson was going to pay him $13 million a season.
12 or 13?
And it was 12 or 13. I think it was 13 because he ended up taking 11, right?
Yeah, but I thought it was 12 and he ended up taking 11.
I think he took $2 million less than what it was.
Okay.
Regardless, so whatever that amount was, it's about the same or less than what we're going to end up offering Karlsson. So if he had a plan in mind in getting John Tavares in, then assuming he has a plan in mind if he's saving $1 million.
Right.
So obviously different in that he's getting a blue liner instead of a centerman. But
the money is there. I don't think that's the issue.
okay.
If he underperforms, I still think, unless there's some kind of, and they would know, there's some kind of medical reason where he's not going to be able to perform like he used to, I think they still go and sign him regardless. I mean, unless he was awful in the playoffs and he just doesn't want to be here and you know it. But
Yeah.
I think that they've surrounded themselves with more Swedish players. No, I'm not joking. I think that's helpful for him
Right.
to want to stick around.
And players' wives.
And supposedly he had, supposedly he asked for Nyquist. Like he
Did he?
wanted Nyquist to come, and he kind of, I don't know if he could court him as much,
Yeah.
but because Nyquist had a no movement clause, so he had to waive it completely to come. Because he supposedly got traded to Winnipeg and said no, and then he got traded to the Sharks and he said yes.
Okay.
So I think Karlsson kind of has a little leeway in they trust that he knows who's a good player. I mean, obviously Nyquist is a good player, but that he would fit into the system and work, and I think he's been doing great.
If that's the case, and he's saying I want Nyquist signed, then maybe he is going to have to be willing to take a little bit less. And if that's the case, yeah, I'll take anything off the top to get Karlsson on the team. I'll take.
Yeah.
Now, if that means we have to lose Joe Pavelski in the process, does that suck? Absolutely. I mean, just the emotional leader. We've seen us play without Joe Pavelski the past
the last 2 weeks.
8 games or so,
Yeah.
and it's not been very pretty. I don't think that's by chance. I think there's some causality there. So I don't know. If you lose Joe Pavelski for next season, you're really looking for some other guys to step up.
Yep.
Who is it called out? Logan Couture. Mark Smith on the show actually
Yeah.
called out Logan Couture, saying he needs to be more of a leader now. This is his time to shine. If he's going to be the captain next season, I think Mark's absolutely right.
Definitely, yeah.
So, and I don't know. We've seen Logan play very, very well. I think he's underrated right now. No, he's kind of had like a really good season just under the radar.
Yeah.
And I think he's like top 2 or top 3 in points on the team right now. I think it's 69 points.
Yeah.
And the only guy above him is Burns. But you don't see that on a nightly basis. He just kind of creeps up on you, right? So, I mean, I don't know. I think points-wise and that kind of thing, he's there. It's just, is the leadership there? I mean, we don't know.
All right, I'm going to go through these. Zach Croft. Hey, Zach.
What's
I think
up,
you're
buddy?
in Toronto. Bring on Vegas. I still think Calgary's overrated. Played Dell on Tuesday and Russ Jones. We need to get healthy for the playoffs and stay out of the penalty box. Yeah, I think at this point, I mean, obviously we know we're playing Vegas. It's already set. It's done. So I think what we'd like to see is some younger defensemen getting some more playing time just to kind of see where they stand and what they can do.
Right.
I think if anyone is kind of not even injured, but kind of knocked around a little bit, they're going to give them a little bit rest. Thankfully, the Sharks have depth. They're not going to just crater at the end, even though they've been losing and getting their butts kicked. But I think we'll see more of that leading into the playoffs. Really, missed an opportunity tonight, not necessarily to try for first place, but to set the tone for a potential playoff second round. I think that's thinking a little too far ahead, Anthony. This is Cabral and his brother's there too. Patrick's there. I don't think it's a big deal tonight. I think it was, let's play tough, kind of send a message, but not get hurt and not do anything too stupid.
I think you have to remember, too, they're coming off a very emotional and very physical game the night before against Vegas. That one was the big game to send the message, right? Not only did they send the message physically, I mean, it was 40-40 hits. There was 80 total hits in that game, which is unreal.
Yeah.
Not only did they send that message saying, hey, you hit us, we're going to hit you back, right? But they ended up winning the game. So it's a nice little bonus there. The game against Calgary, I mean, going into it, I'm saying, look, we're going to be banged up, right? We've played a really rough, emotional game, something that was very physical. The guy's going to be tired. The guy's going to be, a little bit bruised up. The thing is, you can take 40 hits, but when you give 40 hits, that hurts you too. It's not like it's free. The energy is still expended when you're slamming somebody else. So, looking at that game today, I didn't think it held nearly as much weight against the Vegas game, first of all. And then secondly, my expectations for that game weren't nearly as high as for the Vegas game. So I'm not like giving them a pass necessarily, but I'm with Aaron on this one. I think that's looking maybe a little bit too far ahead. Let's focus on Vegas. If we're looking at playoffs at least, let's focus on Vegas and what they're going to challenge us with during the playoffs there. You have to remember also that Calgary only had to win one game regardless, or maybe even just get a point, I think is what it was. And they have it locked up anyway. And they're playing.
They locked also the Western Conference.
Yeah.
Not title.
The banner.
Yeah. So
the title. Yeah.
They were so far ahead that we need a lot to happen. We need to beat them today and for them to lose
pretty much
more
every
games.
game after
That's
that.
It was already a done deal, and the Sharks know that.
Yeah.
It wasn't that big. Okay, I'm just going to list through where people are coming from. Zach's in Toronto. It's Damien Games is Mexico. That's awesome. Anthony is on my couch.
Let's see if anybody notices. What?
Patrick is in Anthony's kitchen.
Patrick is in Anthony's kitchen.
They're brothers. Patrick
do they have two accounts right now?
Yes,
or
they're both listening.
They're both on.
One's in Chico. They found us during the EK65 talks.
Nice.
2 dislikes question? Yeah. What's this?
I don't even want to say any more
Stop.
about it. It's just it's silly.
91 million in total. Wait. Watching from downtown San Jose. I'm a huge Sharks fan from San Diego, and I spent the weekend watching the CUDA and both Sharks games. Man, that was a long weekend for you. That's a lot. That's a lot of hockey. Okay, going back a little bit. There were several instances at tonight's game that the calls were missed. It didn't help that the calls were not going the Sharks' way. We cannot say not getting calls. Is that the reason we lost the game? No. Those 3 goals in the first period that happened so fast were killer, I think.
That's the weird trend that I'm seeing right now is, and I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but it just feels this way. I feel like there are times where there's a goal against, and then just right away there's another goal against.
They're talking about that, like the energy level. You have to be ready.
Yeah.
Both sides have to really go for that next goal because you have such high emotions, kind of like or momentum.
Well, and the funny thing is, it's you change up the lines and you expect the new line to have, okay, cool, we're ready to go. Let's do this, right? As opposed to the line just got scored on, maybe he's a little dejected. You send a new squad out there and they should be ready to go, but it's just all of a sudden you just get swarmed again. So.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We were facing a team that was healthy and hungry. We were simply not healthy and ready to face first in the West. Yeah.
Yep. And again, after a very emotional and heavy Vegas game back-to-back, so that doesn't help.
Yes, losing Pavelski would be worth a healthy EK65.
Oh, yeah.
Healthy being the key word.
Yes.
I agree.
Yes.
I think a healthy Karlsson, if he can get back to where he was even before his ankle surgery, maybe even after his ankle surgery, he would be such a difference maker, and he'd be on the Sharks for a long term. So we'd have him and Burns locked up for a long time, and Vlasic, 3 potential Norris winning defensemen. Granted, Vlasic's year hasn't been great.
We had
those 3 guys anchoring your defense. Any team would want that.
Yeah, and we had a nice discussion, which that'll be part of the episode. But
Right.
we had a nice discussion, and you know, I don't think there is enough consideration for players that are just very, very defensively minded for the Norris. It usually comes down to the guy with the points.
We talked to a Norris winning trophy defenseman.
That is
about
true.
This will be coming tomorrow's episode, by
Yeah.
the way. A little hint to drop there.
Did we talk to Erik Karlsson?
What are your thoughts on Gambrell right now? Thought he improved greatly since the beginning of the season. Yeah, and I think he got to hone in on his skills down at the Barracuda level for
Who's
a
this?
long time.
Gambrell? Yeah.
If he was on the Sharks the whole time, he'd be playing 4th-line minutes, getting 8, 10 minutes a night, and
Right.
he wouldn't be what he is now. So this is why when people were throwing a fit earlier in the season about that 4th-line center, you know, some like Radil gets sent down. They're like, I don't understand why Radil's down. Well, he's going to get more playing time on the Barracuda. He's going to be in more situations.
Right.
He's going to be the guy down there. So it's better for them to develop down in the Barracuda. It's not a bad thing getting sent down. Don't think of it like it's
not a demotion.
Right?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's when players get sent back down, like Antti Suomela, was that a demotion for him? No, he needs more seasoning. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's not like you're bad, go back, right? It's just, you know, you're not quite ready for this. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, you want your players to thrive, and you want them to feel good, and you want to give them playing time where they can be successful, and they're going to build off of that. And the way he's going to build off of that is playing in a league where it's more, you know, his skill set and his skill level, and with guys that he's going to be able to be successful with, and against teams he's going to be able to be successful with, and he's going to learn. You don't want to throw him in there when he's not ready and just get pummeled, and then what is he learning? Okay, great, he has NHL experience. It doesn't matter. If you're getting 5 minutes a night and your face is in the ice half the time, it doesn't really matter if you're getting any experience there or not, right? So, and I say this with kids too. You want to play against other kids that are above your skill level, so that you learn to play at that level. But if, you know, a 5-year-old's playing against me in basketball, I don't care how bad I am in basketball, I'm gonna, you know, destroy him, right? So,
yeah, but that's a physicality thing for that age.
But Antti Suomela,
well, he's just not going to get any bigger.
yeah, okay. So, I mean, he's going to have to learn other parts of his game.
Yeah.
And to do that, you're going to have to develop that against guys that are maybe not quite as skilled at the NHL level.
I think team defense was not there tonight, which is something that Paul stated all season. Yes. I don't
Who
think
said
it's,
that?
Patrick Cabral.
You're a beast, Patrick.
Jerry, do you think we should play Middleton, DeSimone, or Kyle Wood for the last 3 games, given that way Ryan has played?
Okay, no, that's not fair because you've been reading our Twitter. Because I said that like 3 times.
He's been tweeting it out the last week or so, exactly
Yeah.
that. So, yes.
No, and I just think, okay, here's the thing. One, I'm not a fan of Ryan right now, okay? I think Ryan has not played very well at all right now, and I think if you plug anybody else in or a plank of wood, that we're going to be no worse for the wear right now. So what's the point? I don't understand why we're not doing this, right? I think if we get one more point, no, actually tonight I think we did lock it up. We have home ice advantage now.
Yeah.
In the playoffs. Okay,
Yeah.
so what else is there to do? Who cares what happens the next few games, right? You could literally call up the entire Barracuda team, play them. Who cares? What?
It's playoff mode.
It is playoff mode, and I'm sure some of you guys have noticed that we've gotten rid of the jerseys. And
and also from last week's show.
I like this as classic on there. It's great.
Yeah, he wrote classic, Smitty.
But I just don't understand why we're not doing that right now. If anything, just to give one of those 3 guys, or all 3 of them,
Maybe
a
we'll
look.
see it. Maybe we'll see it
I think we
now that
should.
everything's pretty much set.
Yeah, I think
Now
we
we'll see
should.
it. I don't think injuries can excuse the struggles for Sharks are having. They've lost to 4 non-playoffs teams in a row, and now 15 shots against Calgary. I don't expect them to play great, but they have been bad. But it's playoff mode, right? Like it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like to me, I don't care. Like it's the end of the season. They're not going up or down.
Okay.
It's done. Like it doesn't matter. Like so, somebody who we talked to that you'll see tomorrow made a great point. They have played so well during the year that they've earned the right to have a poor stretch, and I agree with that. It just sucks that it happens to be at the end of the season.
Yeah.
But I feel like this happened last year when we kind of back-ended our way into playoffs because we could have locked up a playoff spot a lot earlier.
And then
we
smoked the Ducks, who were on a pretty big win streak there.
an 11-game or they're 9-1.
9-1-1, yeah.
Still, that's
Yeah.
a hot team right
Yeah.
there.
10 out of 11 games they got points.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's pretty hot going into the playoffs.
Yeah.
When your team's going in like that, you're thinking, oh man, we're in good shape. Especially when you're going up against a team that's been on a bit of a losing streak, and then you get swept. It just really does go to show, like, it really doesn't matter. I mean, it feels nice for the fans. It feels really nice for the fans when you're not backing into the playoffs, when you're going in with momentum. When it comes down to it, during the playoffs, when the coaches start working their magic in terms of the line combinations and just the matchups and everything, that stuff kind of goes out the window. And you're so amped up for that game anyway, you're not thinking about what happened the last couple days. You're thinking about right now, let's do this.
Think about it this way. There's the next 4 games that are left, right? 4 or 3?
For us, 4.
4.
Yeah.
There's 4 games left in the season. This is like preseason right now.
Oh, okay.
Think about it like
Pre-postseason.
Well, I'm think about like a preseason, right? And they're playing poorly, and they start the season. Everyone's like, "Oh, it's gonna carry over into the season." No, when the season starts, everyone's like, "No, this is like actually the season. This is gonna go right."
Okay.
Same thing with playoffs. Right now, they're just kind of like, end of the season, we got 4 games left. Who cares? It doesn't matter. Let's just not get hurt. And then once playoffs start, we're busting out of the gate. We're gonna be on our game. We're gonna know everything. They're gonna be practicing it. They're gonna know all this stuff. So it's not a big deal. And we've talked to now 2 different former players who said the exact same thing, because we asked them the same question. What do you think of the skid right now? Are you worried about going to playoffs? And both of them, matter of factly, no, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
I mean, granted, they're former players of the Sharks, and they're with the Sharks alumni.
But they also said like it sucks going through a 7-game losing streak, but it doesn't matter. Like once playoffs start, it's a whole new season. Yeah. It's not going to carry over. So Zach said the Sharks need a team meeting once again before playoffs start. I don't think so. I think they're fine. I think they're going to have that meeting basically at the end of the season before playoffs start. They're going to regroup. They're going to know what to do. I bet they're going to be studying tape right now in Vegas and getting that down now for the next 2 weeks until they start playing, or 10 days, or whenever that is.
I'm just saying, give me 2 minutes and I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'll be right back.
Watching from Sacramento. I've been watching the show since day one. Love the show, guys. Keep them coming. Thank you, Matt. Hurdle is elite from Chris Lindsay. Yes, I agree. Paul's just leaving real quick because he thinks he left his phone in his fancy car, which acts as his key, and so he's freaking out because someone could just drive his car away. The set is in playoff mode. Yes, we got all new stuff. GoFundMe campaign for getting Shimmick a bionic leg transplant. That's not a terrible idea. Both Vegas and Calgary were trying to get under Kane's skin. Are you worried that he may see a red mist and get another suspension? No, I don't think so. I think Kane is pretty level-headed. I don't think he gets under. I don't think people get under his skin that well. Car still there?
Yes.
You find your phone?
Yeah.
Was it in your pocket?
It was not in my pocket.
Oh.
No, so I don't know where you guys were talking there, but
yeah,
I have a Model 3 and my phone is my key, and my phone was in my car. So
it was in your car.
It was, yeah. So somebody could have just drove off with my car. Yeah.
You were out of breath.
I know. I was running fast.
He was really scared.
And I'm fat. So.
All right.
How many pounds does the camera add?
How many pounds does the camera add?
Yeah.
It probably takes off a few.
You done?
I'm fatter than what?
You done? I'll repeat
No, I'm
this.
not done. Go ahead.
Both Vegas and Calgary were trying to get under Kane's skin. Are you worried that he may see a red mist and get another suspension? Because he got suspended last year against Vegas, I think. I don't think so. I think what he's going to do is he's going to provoke Reeves. And what we saw in that game is he got Reeves kicked out of the game, essentially. And maybe not him, but Reeves got kicked out. And I think you kind of saw Vegas collapse in a way. Then they got bullied and pushed around. Because the Sharks don't have just Kane. They have Haley, which who knows if he's going to play in the playoffs. They have Meyer. They have
throwing his body around.
Dylan.
Yeah. Well, you're talking about fighters. I'm talking about guys that are going to slam the body.
Not really fighters, but just tougher, bigger guys that slam the body, but also people like Kane who are chirping like crazy and getting under your skin, right? So I think the Sharks have an advantage in that.
Jumbo's chirp game.
Oh, did you hear tonight?
Yeah.
The microphones are catching a lot of that. It's great.
I didn't catch a lot of the words, but I saw the back and forth.
Kachuk is when Kachuk basically not dove, because he sold that hit.
Okay.
I forgot who hit him. It was I don't know, whatever. He hit him and Kachuk kind of turned and threw his face in the boards and like bounced off and was like, oh, holding his mouth. It's like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Thornton was just going after him from the bench. Like, it was great.
No, I don't think that it's going to be as big of a problem. I hope not, because if I feel like Reeves is the type of player that is skilled enough that if you really get him going, he can hurt you on the scoreboard as well. And maybe his stats don't say that, but I just feel like he's a more skilled player than Haley is, for instance. Let's just put it that way, right?
Yeah.
He's a lot bigger. He's a lot stronger. Like, this guy is, you don't want to take that pit bull off the leash. So I can understand them kind of going back and forth and, the jaw jacking and all that stuff. But you really are going to need that to result in Reeves getting a 10-minute misconduct.
You want him to do something stupid.
You want him to do something stupid.
But not hurt your guy.
You want him to get knocked out. You don't want him to hurt one of our guys. Exactly. So I don't know. It's a fine line you're going to have to walk with Reeves, I think.
But, did you hear what Kane said? We talked about this.
What?
Your babysitter's gone now?
Yeah.
You skated by the bench.
Was it Carrier or something he was telling? Or Carrier? I don't know how to say his name. But the Carrier, I think, is how you say it. And he was like, yeah, your babysitter's gone now. So
it's fantastic.
Yeah, it's going to be a great postseason rivalry. It's just going to be amazing.
They noticed the shoes.
Did you?
Finally new shoes.
No, you know what?
Oh, Sheldon, did you get the scuff out?
I got the scuff off, yeah. No, it was funny because like the first day I wore them out, right? We did our thing, which you're going to see in this episode. And then right after that, we wrapped up. We start going out and take 3 steps out the door, and someone like steps backwards and steps right on it. And I'm like, oh, got this big black mark on the side
big
of
old
it.
scuff.
He's like, oh, I'm sorry.
He kept joking about stepping on a shoe just to mess it up.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
And it happened.
Brady is in Chico. Anthony really goose? Yeah, sorry, Tony. Sorry. I see your name, Anthony. I just read it. He goes by Tony.
Oh.
But his name is Anthony.
Gotcha.
Minnesota. Hello, Minnesota. That's a terrible accent.
Yes,
my first live stream ever. I know you may hate this, but Bobrovsky got another shutout. Columbus is on a tear. Really wish we had him instead of Aaron Dell. Do you think Bobrovsky will choke the playoffs? Yes.
Wait. You wish we had Bobrovsky instead of Aaron Dell?
Well, yeah, anybody would, right?
But okay, but why would
I think that's a terrible idea because goalie controversy.
But why would we have Aaron Dell to have him traded to get Bobrovsky?
Well, we would have traded other people too.
And
just
think
about
both Bobrovsky and Jones.
Right.
Is that what I mean?
Okay, think about it this way.
No.
Look at Calgary. Calgary has Smith and Riddick.
Okay.
Rittich, whatever.
Yeah.
Who do you start in round 1? Who do you start in game 1?
Yeah, sure. Okay, it's a question. But you know what? We've been saying the same thing about defensive pairings. We got so many good defensemen.
No, but I'm saying
right?
if you have 2 good goalies like that, Bobrovsky and Jones, if Jones loses, everyone's going to say, you should have played Bobrovsky. Yeah. You played Bobrovsky, he loses. Well, maybe you should have played Jones. Sure. They just go back and forth, right? So I just think you want to steer clear of that. It's kind of like when we had Toskala and Nabokov.
Yeah.
And they were kind of a 1A, 1B thing. I think that was sucked for the coaching staff to figure out who's going to play who. So, I don't know. I think
Lettinen and Niemi in Dallas.
I hope this happens. I hope Columbus gets destroyed in the first round of the playoffs, gets swept, and Bobrovsky is just dismantled. Because then I'm just going to say, ha! That's it. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say about that.
He's way more vindictive than I am. I would like to see Columbus do well because here's the reason why.
I hope Bobrovsky sucks and they pull him, and Korpisalo comes in and takes over.
No. So the reason I'm saying I hope that they do well is because, again, for that franchise, they've given up a lot of their draft picks to bring in guys that if they don't want to re-sign, which they haven't re-signed yet, they're just going to walk to free agency, which means you've given up assets to get people that are going to be gone next season. So now you don't have those people and you don't have those assets, right? The draft picks and whatnot. So, again, unless Columbus can persuade them to re-sign, or unless Columbus does extremely well and that is why they want to re-sign, that franchise is in a deep, deep hole.
Yeah. Centers are not tying up on the back check caused those 2 goals. Team defense has been horrible. I agree. Okay. I think it's not just the defensemen, it's not just the goalies, it's team defense. The centers need to get better. Will we see Donskoy or Meyer return next season? Reminder, Meyer's an RFA and Donskoy's an UFA. Meyer for sure. Yeah, he's going to get locked up. He's going to get paid. He'll get locked up. If he doesn't get paid, then he's going to get a bridge deal, maybe 3 years, 4 years, and then they'll pay him the big bucks if he does well after that. I can see Donskoy being gone.
Yeah.
I just don't think there's room for him now. And it also depends if Nyquist stays. I think Donskoy's for
I
sure
don't
gone.
I don't think he's a bad player. I don't think Donskoy is bad, and that's why we need to ship him out or anything like
It's
that.
just room.
I just think, I think he's just
Cap space and room.
Yeah, well, cap space, he's not going to ask for that much, and he probably shouldn't be asking for that much.
But just playing.
But yeah, I know, I get it. I'm just saying, yeah, there's not. We've got so many other players now that are kind of upgrades over Donskoy. I mean, look at this season even. We're not even talking about anybody else that's getting that much better or anybody else that we possibly bring in. Just this season, they had him playing on the fourth line, not because of it was a demotion, but because we're all full. Like, what are you going to do? We're full, right? You're not going to put Nyquist on the fourth line.
Right.
So, I don't know. I think Aaron's right. You know, we just don't have the room for him anymore, and that's okay. I mean, there's nothing wrong with them. It's just we don't have the room. Now, I'll say this. If we don't sign Gus Nyquist, then it makes more sense to me because Donskoy fills one of those top 9 spots, and he's not going to cost anywhere near the amount, and you need cap.
But we also have some guys coming up the ranks
Yeah.
that could fill in those roles.
Potentially.
Top
Alexander
6
True is having a
role,
really great
right.
season down there.
So I don't see Donskoy coming back. That's what I think.
Yep.
I think a big bonus to keeping Karlsson that no one brings up is having him and Burns around would do Merkley's development 3 or 4 years now. Oh, yeah, totally.
No. We brought that up.
Well, we did, yeah.
We brought that up.
Calm down.
I'm good. No, we had said, I can't remember which episode it was, but we had said, you know, it's, can you imagine, I think it was probably just the Erik Karlsson episode, number 13, where, you know, how amazing is it going to be for Ryan Merkley to be able to look up to not 1, but 2.
Well, he already was with Burns for a while during training camp, right? And he was seeing how he ate.
He was hanging out with Burns,
and everything. Yeah.
And so now he's got 2 guys that he can look up to, which is great. Both of them Norris Trophy winning. And the more important thing for me is both of them play the same style.
Yeah.
They're both offensive defensemen, and that's what Merkley is, right?
Yep.
So he's not only going to learn from a professional and the best professionals in his position, but also in his style of play. Like there's no better place for Ryan Merkley to be right now.
Yep. It seems Gaudreau has accepted his role as a fourth liner and has added a bit of nastiness to his game. Yeah. I agree. I think that's also kind of a survival thing because he has nowhere else to play right now. I mean, look at Donskoy, right? Imagine if Donskoy did that. He started playing like a nastier edge and getting into dirty. He can't. Yeah. Then he would be like, oh, okay, we can plug you in on that fourth line a little bit more. Yeah. What's going on with the goalies? I don't know. They're fine.
Okay. They're not fine. Okay, and I keep making this argument, and people see. Here's the problem.
This guy's name is Justin Braun is a Beast 61.
Nice.
Are you secretly Justin Braun? That's awesome. Go on, sorry.
Justin. If you want to come on the show, let us know. Wait, what was the question? You threw me off with.
What's going on with the goalies? That's it.
I keep making this point, and people keep thinking that see, here's the problem with social media. You get these like political type answers where either they're like the devil and they are the worst, or there's absolutely nothing wrong with them and everyone else sucks and the goalies are perfect.
Polar opposites.
That's not what I'm saying. Yeah, exactly. There's polar opposites, and that's not what I'm saying. It lies somewhere in between. I keep saying the same thing, and actually we got blocked by one user because I was trying to say something about Šimek, and it was just saying that Šimek was allowing Brent Burns to be Brent Burns. Not that he was enabling him, like he wouldn't be Brent Burns without him, but he was just allowing him to be the player that Brent Burns is, right? And he's like, I'm tired of all these enabling posts and that, he's the anchor and blah, blah, blah. So he blocked us. Anyway, with goaltending, I've been saying the same thing. I feel like, again, Martin Jones is not an elite goaltender, and that's okay. Not everybody that you sign is going to be elite. Just because they play in the NHL doesn't mean they're elite, right? At the NHL level. So Martin Jones is a very good goaltender. You cannot put a guy who's only very good in these positions where you need an elite goaltender to make the save. What was the other game they had? It was like 15 high danger chances against on 27 shots. That's more than 50% of your shots are high danger. Don't tell me that's a problem with the goaltending. How are they getting 15 high danger chances? Because they're not playing good team defense. They're not shutting down that cross crease pass. They're not blocking anybody from coming into the slot. Who said what?
Nothing. I'm just laughing because they got you fired up.
No, it does, because I don't know how many times I've said this, and it's like it's just not catching on. But and again, I'm not excusing Jones of everything. I'm not saying he's totally 100% perfect and everyone else sucks. No, he's only good. He's only very good. He's not elite. So yeah, there are times where he's just going to get beat. but you have to understand that, and it's okay.
We've seen Jones play at an elite
Yes.
level. What makes him not elite is he's not consistently playing like that every game. Now, I think he does step up and play more consistently in the playoffs, but I think that's what people get upset about is they see this Jones get a shutout, right? A couple times a year, and they go, wow, he played out of his mind. He made these incredible saves. He still makes incredible
makes
saves.
out the bar.
Right. And
Yeah.
that's what they expect every night, Jones to be like that, and then he doesn't do it,
Yeah.
and they're like, what the heck? What's wrong with it? Trade him.
Yeah, see,
we need
for-
Bobrovsky.
And this is not really my forte, but for the math folks, it's like standard deviation, right? When the standard deviation is a lot smaller, he's being more consistent. When he's letting in more goals or he's getting a shutout, there's this wide range of how good he is in people's minds, and that average is somewhere in between.
And we've been saying this all year that he's not an elite goalie. We don't
Yeah.
think he's an elite goalie, but he's a very good goalie who steps up and becomes more elite during the playoffs.
Yeah, and a lot of that has, well, part of that too during the playoffs is they clamp it down.
Right.
You play better defense, your goaltender's going to play better in front or better behind you, I guess. So, again, what's with the goalies? I don't think there's as big of a problem as everyone's making it out to be. I would say what's with the team not playing good defensively in front of the goalies. You're still going to have goals go in. Doesn't matter how good defense you play.
I think they're playing the long game. I think the Sharks are trolling the league because then when they get to playoffs, they're just going to shut everyone down.
Yeah.
And 16 in a row right
Was
there.
that an 880 save?
Sweep
We meant
everybody.
980 save percentage. My bad.
I respect the new shoes, Paul. Took
Hey.
Chat's advice. I see. That's Christopher Lindsay, a longtime follower and listener.
Yes.
Ryan will not return next season. I agree.
And I tweeted that out
There's no
today.
reason for him to.
I tweeted that out today. I said I think this is
Yeah.
the last time we're gonna basically see Ryan.
Hey, what do you have against a plank of wood? Why does he have to be lumped in with Ryan's performance woes?
Who said that?
Misfit.
Oh, okay.
Another long-time
Nice,
listener.
yeah.
Will the Sharks trade Dell next season? We've said it before. I think I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I don't think they're going to, but I wouldn't be surprised if they trade him during the draft or maybe sometime during the summer.
I think he gets traded if only to free up a little bit of cap space.
That and if they get a pretty decent return or a draft pick because
Yeah.
they want to get somebody right then and there.
Yeah.
I can see that happening. And there's some teams that will want him too.
And I think with Bibeau coming in instead or Coronash, I think Coronash they're going to leave in the AHL.
He needs a
though,
little
to-
bit more
A little
time.
bit more seasoning. Yes,
Yeah.
he's actually got I think a better record at one point than Bibeau did.
But I think he could do a whole full season
Yeah.
being the starter.
Exactly.
For
because right now
Barracuda.
they are kind of like a 1A, 1B down there,
Right.
and I think if Bibeau comes up and does
And
a
Coronac-
backup role,
He just came over from the Czech Republic.
Yeah.
Right? This is his first full season as a.
Yeah.
So it would do him some good to learn the different game.
yeah. So I think you're going to save what was it like 700,000 or 800,000.
Right.
It's a little bit of cap space, but it's every little helps. I think.
Right.
So, and you're not going to be that much worse for the wear by playing Bibeau instead of Dell.
Are we going to get to 100 points? I thought we were 2 weeks ago when we were doing pretty well and there was a lot of games left. And now.
I will answer a question with a question. Do we care?
Right. We're at 97 right now.
It
to
doesn't
look up.
matter. It really doesn't. Like who cares?
And we only have 3 games left, not 4.
Yeah, we
So
have
it's-
3. Okay.
So we're at, what did I say, 97 points with 6 points on the line.
I don't.
What do you
care.
think?
Because even if we end up with 97 points,
Then I'll say, no, we won't.
even if we end up with 97 points, it doesn't change our playoff positioning or anything else.
I
So
know.
I really don't care. Now, just for the sake of answering the question, will we? Sure. Yeah, I think so. We're playing some teams that maybe aren't too hot. So
Would like to see Burns rested. Who cares about Ironman streaks? He's been playing huge minutes with EK65 out. Need a rested Wookiee. Good luck telling a Wookiee to rest.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to happen. I think
I think he thrives on it.
definitely. And when they're getting 25, 30 minutes, those guys kind of need to play 25, 30 minutes in those games because it keeps their legs and everything going so
Yeah.
that if they were to rest, I mean, granted, he'd probably be working out. It's still
Yeah.
not the same as a game level. Like,
Yeah.
this is kind of like a big argument every year when a team sweeps, right? And then they have to wait another 10 days or a week before the other next round comes. They usually come off a little sluggish because they haven't been playing. They've only been practicing. So, yeah, it's always great to sweep. I'm not saying they shouldn't sweep or anything, but you'll see that you get a little rusty from not playing against anybody other than your own teammates. So I don't think they need to rest Burns. He doesn't look tired to me.
Yeah.
He's fine. He's going to want to go full bore into it.
Some guys, that's their groove, and they have the lungs for that, and it's not tiring for them. That's where their level is. They play 30 minutes a night, and they're fine with that. There's no problem with that. I think you start playing guys a little bit less, and I think this was part of the problem with Marc-Edouard Vlasic when EK65 was here on 3 different lines. Burns, Vlasic, and Karlsson on 3 separate lines. The minutes kind of got spaced out a little bit, and I think that was part of the reason that Vlasic was having a rough go. Because he was still paired up with Braun, wasn't he, at that time? I think he was still paired up with Braun. So I think that was part of it. I think even Vlasic was used to playing more minutes, and you pull back on the number of minutes, and it kind of messes with you. And just on that point alone, something I just kind of thought of, those fourth line guys, it's got to be tough for them to maintain the flow of the game, only getting 5, 7, 8, whatever minutes a night.
Yeah.
And I mean, kudos to them for the way that they perform. And we've seen Michael Haley's stats, and Kerr's brought it up too. He doesn't hurt you. He's not really gonna score goals for you, but he doesn't hurt you. And for a guy to come off the bench and to be able to play just a handful of minutes, but mentally get back into the game, and I mean that's a tough task. He does so much
for the other guys too. Like he's such a raw kind of guy for his teammates, and everyone loves him.
Yeah.
So. He brings a bunch of intangibles that you can't really
It's not
see.
Corsi.
Right, exactly. Yeah, that's what Burns said the other day, right? Where did I leave off? I agree about this game not being a game that needed to be won. Oh, I just clicked something. Ha! Sorry. I clicked the link somewhere, and it went to the...
Did you thumbs down our video?
No. I lost it. Hold on.
Did anybody else thumbs up our video?
No, I have a touch screen, and I accidentally hit the link that Jason put out there for our last episode.
Oh.
So it went to the last episode. I was like, I agree about winning. I agree about the game that needed to be won. We know that 3 games are left. Would you plug in EK, Pavs, or whoever to bring them up to speed after we just talked about that? If they're ready to go, maybe the last home game, because it's the last home game where they do all the stuff for the fans.
Yeah, fan appreciation.
Yeah. Maybe that game, just to get them out there on the ice.
I put Karlsson in on the last game of the regular season, and I don't play him very many minutes.
Yeah.
Unless he's like, I'm feeling it tonight. Cool. Beyond that, there's really no reason. I know, like, it's about getting them back into game shape and getting in the flow of it and everything else. Honestly, I don't think it's going to be a problem for either of those guys. Those guys are such professionals.
Yeah.
They've played on every single stage, be it Olympic, NHL playoffs. I mean, they've done it all, and they played it at an extremely high level. So I don't think it's going to be a problem for them to jump right back in and just start playing again. That said, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind them getting one game, before playoffs actually start, but I don't think it's necessary.
Right. Okay, I'm going to get through these because we got about 7 minutes left.
6.
Interview with Mark Smith was great. It was
Thank
awesome.
you.
The Thoroughblades Day and the CUDA, and I'm glad you guys put it so everyone can enjoy him. LeBank's been playing the best hockey post All-Star break and looks to have stepped up his game at another level. Yeah, and I think the coach called him out for it to get his game up to speed and better, and I think he's delivered.
You know what's hilarious? Before the trade deadline, who was the trade fodder?
Oh my God, LeBanc and Dell? Right?
Yeah,
Or Jones.
LeBanc,
Jones.
yeah, and Jones for Bobrovsky.
Right.
No, but I mean, he was trade fodder, and everyone wanted him gone, and everything else.
All of our trades that we talked about, we had
We
LeBanc
included
only
him.
because he would be worth something.
That's
he could be.
Yeah.
I also said Donskoy at the time could be gone.
Yeah.
But they didn't. They didn't have to, which is great.
Well, I mean, but in that case, either of those two guys are, arguably like third liners, right? So is it that much of a detriment? Maybe not.
Yeah.
But we've seen LeBanc step up big time, and that jumbo line with Sorensen and LeBanc.
Right.
What I tell you, man, I said it. We're going to have 3 solid scoring
That
lines.
third line.
Every single one of those lines can score.
It's going to be the difference maker, I think.
Right?
I keep saying that.
I really think it is. And
Yeah.
I might be wrong. We could be totally wrong about that. But, I mean, the way it's looking right now, with all the losses and everything, yeah, it looks pretty bad. But the way that this team can play, I'll put it that way. The way this team can play, I just don't see anybody stacking up. If we're playing to potential, I don't see anybody stacking up.
Yeah. Hi guys, another tough loss, but I do see positives heading into the playoffs. It's like 2016 where no one believes in us. I don't think that's true. I think there's still a lot of love for the Sharks. I think it's gone because of the streak that we just had, the losing streak. But I think once the playoffs start and we start beating up Vegas, everyone will be like, ooh, yeah, the Sharks are still a favorite.
The no one believes in us. Right now, you're hearing a lot of the people that don't believe in us because we're going through this losing streak. When everything's going well, we've talked about this before. The negative people tend to jump out when everything's going bad, and the positive people jump out when everything's going good, right? So it's just it's a ebb and flow of what we're seeing right now in terms of winning or losing, and the people that are going to be speaking while we're winning or losing.
Right. Go whatever team plays Calgary. I want to see Tampa fail. I still think Tampa's not going to make the finals. I think Boston would beat them. In the conference championship.
Okay.
I don't see them getting there. And I think that's going to be a massive failure for them.
Yeah. No,
everyone's picking. It's just like, oh, President's Trophy, they're destroying everybody. Such an easy win. Playoffs are a completely different beast.
That's the thing, man. I don't care what seed you are. When you hit playoffs, man, it doesn't matter anymore.
Imagine having all that pressure. Imagine the Sharks could have been like that, right? Mm-hmm. Where they could have won the President's Trophy, they could have destroyed everyone, and then all that pressure, and then, which has happened before, they lose in the first round.
I'd love to see the stat, how many times the President Trophy winning team has won the cup. Because I don't think it's even close to half.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's not a lock just because you've done well in the regular season, right?
I just made $20 by betting on the Wild missing the playoffs. When did you place that bet? I'm curious about that. Do the Sharks trade Braun this offseason? I think I could see Braun, Donskoy,
Dell.
and Dell. Those three guys, I think, could be gone.
And I
don't think they should be gone, but I think they could be gone. I think they could survive without them, and they have people to plug in, and it would clear up some space.
Braun, Donskoy, Dell, Ryan.
Yeah, well, Ryan's a free agent.
Yeah, not re-signing, in other words. I think those guys might be gone. And the only reason I say Braun potentially gone is because of money. That's it. He doesn't deserve it. Right. He deserves to stay on the team. He's played well.
He could be a top 4 in any other team.
Absolutely.
He's kind of buried right now in the Sharks. Yeah. It sucks for him.
Yeah. So I think it'd be a good move to trade him for both the franchise and for him.
Justin Braun is a B61. Better not. I want Braun traded. I think Alex True could replace Donskoy.
Yes.
I think if Columbus misses the postseason, Torts is canned. Probably.
You know what's funny? Let's go back to True real quick. That would be Timo Meier, Tomas Hertl, Lukas Radil, Alexander True. How big are those bodies?
Spread out on 2 lines.
Good
basically.
luck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good luck.
And very skilled.
Yeah.
And fast.
Mm-hmm.
I like that Gaudreau has no problem dropping the gloves. The way Nyquist has played, I wouldn't mind bringing him back next year with Carlson, LeBanc, and Meier. Donskoy and Pavs go, and then trade Dell and Braun for cap space. Also bridge Meier if needed. Meier should be a higher priority over EK65. Well, yes and no. Meier's an RFA, so he's not going to be able to go anywhere. If another team offers
offer sheet,
the Sharks can
match
it, so they have first rights of refusal, basically.
Remember, too, that I don't know exactly what the rules are, but when a team does an offer sheet, they have to give compensation, too, based on the amount of money. Yeah, so that team can only offer sheet if they have the picks to give, too.
It's a lot, too. I mean, if you give him an offer sheet, something that the Sharks would... If you're trying to make it so that the Sharks kind of get screwed in a way where they have to pay a lot of money for Meier, that means you're also going to have to give up, I think it's 3 first-round picks.
Well, it depends on what the dollar amount
I think
is.
over $5 million is 3 first-round picks. Like, it's not...
I don't know.
That's why we don't see a lot of offer sheets. We also... The GMs are very close, buddy with one another. So,
Where did you get that information from?
I don't know. I just think that everyone says this summer is going to be the RFA offer sheet summer because there's so many RFAs.
Yeah.
I don't see any of that happening.
I got a minute or two, I think.
Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Doable. Jones will raise his level when playoffs begin. Knights versus Sharks would be a great series. It's Jones versus Subban. If it's Jones versus Subban. No, I still think we match up well against Fleury. Then you can bring up guys like Beepo and True next year. I love Braun's a Shark because I'm from Minnesota. Nice to see someone from my state on my favorite team.
Do the Minnesota accent again.
Minnesota.
Terrible.
I just dropped back down there.
I should have not had you do that because we're going to get another thumbs down now.
Right. There's a team problem. I agree 100% with the league troll. I seriously hope not. If Dell isn't traded, he'll just be bought out. I don't think he'll get bought out. It's not that much money to buy out. I don't think it's worth it. Sharks started to lose when I stopped watching the lives. I'm back now. Thank you, Jack Frost. Appreciate that.
Okay.
Why did you stop? Miss a playoff game, we will find you. Just get LeBanc off the power play. No, he's doing pretty well.
That's
on the power
where
play.
they think he thrives the most. If you ask DeBoer, yeah.
And then everyone said no. He turns it over every time he's on the ice. He's playing on the wrong side.
That's what I want to say about the power play before we get going here. I don't like that we don't have a trigger man. I don't like that Brent Burns is the only trigger man and he's at the top. He's at the point. I'd rather have someone like you're talking about in Ovechkin's office.
Yeah.
And that's what we saw with Erik Karlsson.
When Karlsson was there, Burns would go in the office, and that's really. And I'm sure they'll go back to that once Karlsson's back. Yeah. Melker.
Melker?
That's all it says.
Just says Melker.
If Sharks can correct the power play, they will be deadly, and it will force other teams to play tentatively. Yes and no. There's going to be less power plays in the playoffs, which means they'll be worth more if they score on them. But there's going to be a lot less penalties called, so it's going to be. I'd rather have the team be doing well 5-on-5 than on the power play and thriving on the power play, not 5-on-5. I placed a bet of the Wild missing playoffs at day 1. I'm from Minnesota and I know our teams. You are a smart man. That was a hard bet because they were pretty close, and I think after the trade deadline, everyone was kind of shocked to see them. I was shocked to see them be sellers and then just not do well. They just okay. When did the NHL playoffs start? NHL player highlights. That's the name of the guy. Usually like 2 days after the regular season. I think the regular season ends on the 8th, at least for the Sharks.
Sharks. Well, the last home game is the 6th. Do they have one after that? They have an away game after that?
Let me pull up my calendar real quick.
Okay.
They answer it in the chat.
Oh.
April 10th.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Oh, will Melker will be here?
Oh, are we going to trade Melker?
Oh, I don't think anyone would want him. I mean, not. Who wants a fourth? Who trades for a fourth line guy? Right.
Well, okay.
Yeah, the schedule's not out yet, so we don't know when. We know who we're playing, we just don't know when yet. And there is a Pink concert at the arena. So I was going to do something like this to kind of go over like what's at the arena already that we have to work around. So we know there's a Pink concert on the 17th of April, which would be like right around Game 5. Game 5 or 6, something around there. So we know they can't play there, but what's going to suck is that's on the ice. And that's going to screw up the ice. But there's also Barracuda playoffs. And they play on the same ice. So hopefully the ice isn't too bad.
But both teams have to deal with that. So.
Okay, who should be the fourth line center for Sharks? I think it's going to be a rotation based on matchup.
You mean for the playoffs?
I'm guessing for playoffs, yeah.
I don't think you change anything right now.
You keep...
just leave it as is.
Okay. Yeah. Minnesota might want Melker. Sergei is too expensive. Do you think we trade for Sergei? Bobrovsky?
No.
Sergei?
No.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, I think we're going to end the show.
Yeah, good.
So we appreciate it. Check out our store. I was wearing our shirt today, if you noticed. I don't know if you noticed, but we also we have hats. There you go. We have...
My dad just bought one.
Women's... Yeah, he did. We have women's cut shirts. We have... so we have the black, we have gray, we have teal. Looks great for playoffs.
Certainly does. And it feels really nice, too. These they are super soft, so very, very good stuff.
Yep.
Y'all good?
Good. So be sure to check our episode. It's going to be jam-packed tomorrow because I'll just say we have 3 interviews tomorrow.
Well, but we're not doing all those in
I think we are.
one. I don't think we are.
We are. Right, Jay?
I don't think we are.
Yeah, we are.
I think we're going to spec it out. But whatever.
No, we're not.
It's regardless, it's going to be a good episode, obviously. So just tune in and check it out. Yeah, so that'll be out tomorrow. In any case, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We do appreciate your comments and your questions and everything.
Yep.
And if you have any topics for maybe another show or something like that, feel free to either put it in the chat and we'll just kind of go through it again, or if you just kind of hit us with a DM or something like that on Twitter or whatever else. If you've got stuff you want us to talk about, let us know and we'll try to add it into the show as well. So we are going to get to shooting episode 44 right now. So again, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We will see you
Tomorrow.
tomorrow. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.